when Jocasta Nu tried to rebuild the Jedi Order. Isolated, in exile on a tranquil planet in the Outer Rim, Jocasta knew of the impending danger she was in. She also knew how the persecution of the Jedi during the Great Purge had wiped out nearly the entire Jedi Order. So she tried to build a new one. How could she reach out to what was left of the Order? What knowledge and help would she need? As the Great Jedi Purge began to draw to a close, the Empire's occupation of the entire galaxy was just beginning. Atop a great mountain, overseeing babbling brooks and endlessly lush fields, Jocasta Nu sat calmly in meditation. Through the Force, she communicated with a Jedi holocron, imbuing it with sensitive information, but most of all, a plea for help. Don't let our deaths have been in vain. The holocron understood the message as it levitated in a pure blue light, flowing with the light side of the Force as the Jedi hoped it would reach the right person. Ideally, any Jedi that had not been killed in the barbaric Jedi Purge. She knew her options were limited, but she had hope. From within the cave, Nu's assistant Gar appeared, aiding with a pot of tea and good listening skills. However, he wished he hadn't listened to her next sentence. After inquiring what the contents of this latest holocron message were, she gave him a quiet yet assuring reply, "My last words." Though Gar inquired for elaboration, she remained just as self-assured and peaceful when she laid the facts of their controlled yet precarious situation out. She knew that with the Empire relentlessly pursuing her, inevitably her time would be up soon. As a woman of her age, she could only run for so long. So she was entrusting whatever other light side Force users that were out there to listen to her message with one specific theme: the purpose and need for the Jedi Order. And getting this message out as far as possible was no easy task. Though Gar politely and professionally insisted that she rest after days of meditating, Force using and signaling, she made it clear that until her job was done, that she couldn't rest. And to her knowledge, she was one of the precious handful of Jedi left in existence. So there was no one else to do this job. No one had her breadth of knowledge concerning the entire history of the Jedi, which was needed if the Order were to be rebuilt. But essentially, she wanted whichever Jedi that received her messages to understand why the Order must be rebuilt, rather than instructing them to do so themselves. Even if many other Jedi were still alive, the Order would have no chance of being rebuilt without the knowledge she acquired through decades of archival research and working in the Temple Library. With another holocron complete with Jedi teachings and knowledge, Jocasta returned to her workspace. Hidden within a huge waterfall, her and Gar worked on maintaining the legacy of the Jedi within this well-equipped hangar that contained living spaces, a Clone Wars-era Jedi starfighter, astromech droid, and laboratory. It was almost a time capsule back to a simpler time. A shelf containing all the complete holocrons loomed over the hangar, illuminating it with the same peaceful blue hue that the Jedi's lightsaber would. With the archive of holograms complete, Gar wanted to discuss what was next for he and his counterpart, suggesting it was time to move on to another planet, having done all they could do to maintain this knowledge. But Jocasta's focus was elsewhere as she approached her bed, noticing a tube-shaped case laying on her pillow. It was her lightsaber. As Gar realized what she was thinking, he implored her to step away, knowing how overworked and under-rested this archive had made her. Now that it was finally over, he assured Jocasta that their job was done. The knowledge was ready to be discovered by another Jedi, encrypted and secure holocrons that didn't need their oversight any longer. She paused. "Oh, my friend, don't you see?" Her assistant looked around the hangar, trying to grasp what she could mean. "I haven't built an archive here. I've built a school." Gar was dumbfounded. Usually on the same page and understanding of his close friend, he was totally caught off guard. But moreover, he feared unwanted attention continuing this mission could bring. Yet Jocasta was adamant that this was the way and what they had been building towards the whole time. To her, this was the best bet to try and rebuild what was once the Great Jedi Order, and her teaching to inspire students under her tutelage. Though she agreed that this school could prove dangerous, it was only if it fell into the wrong hands. Constructing a school around all these holocrons would at least provide protection and a new legion of knights to carry out their teachings. With that, she began packing resources to travel. When Gar inquired as to where she was going, she replied calmly, "There's something very important I have to get. A school needs students." If Nu's hunch was right, this well-equipped and hidden school could soon become the new center of the light side across the entire galaxy. Her subsequent recruitment drive for students was a risky task, but was not only the best chance of survival for young Jedi left over from the Purge, but an important reintroduction to their lives as Jedi. With their knowledge from the archives safe and encrypted, the school was already suited to take students of all kinds, and hopefully it would attract newcomers to the light side of the Force. With that, Jocasta Nu set out into the galaxy to begin rebuilding the Jedi Order, a trip that would find her at the wrong end of Darth Vader and eventually lead to her death. But not the death of the knowledge she had strived to preserve. Years later, hoping to understand the ways of the Force, Luke Skywalker, a young Jedi Knight at the time, discovered Jocasta Nu's archives. He would use those teachings to understand his place in the galaxy and learn to make the right choices, when his father had not.